Question 1. Which of the following is a key responsibility of a surplus lines claims adjuster during the claims handling process? A. Ensuring compliance with state-specific regulatory requirements. B. Determining the premium rates for surplus lines policies. C. Issuing policy endorsements and renewals. D. Conducting regular audits of underwriting procedures. Correct answer A. Ensuring compliance with state-specific regulatory requirements. Explanation. A surplus lines claims adjuster must ensure compliance with state-specific regulatory requirements as a crucial part of the claims handling process. In Iowa, as in other states, adjusters need to be familiar with the regulatory framework established by the Iowa Insurance Division to handle claims properly. This includes adhering to guidelines and timelines for claim responses, maintaining thorough documentation, and ensuring all communication is clear and accurate. Adjusters are not involved in determining premium rates, issuing policy endorsements, or conducting audits of underwriting procedures, which fall under the purview of underwriters and other insurance professionals. Question 2. Which method is typically used to estimate the potential cost of a surplus lines insurance claim? A. Use of predictive analytics models. B. Review of similar past claims. C. Both. And B. D. None of the above. Correct answer. C. Both. And B. Explanation. Both predictive analytics models and the review of similar past claims are essential methods used in evaluating the potential cost of a surplus lines insurance claim. Predictive analytics can provide insights based on vast amounts of data, helping to anticipate future claim costs and trends. Reviewing similar past claims allows adjusters to draw on historical data to inform their estimates. In Iowa, adjusters must ensure these evaluations are in line with the state's regulatory standards and fair claims practices. These methods help ensure accurate reserving and cost estimation, crucial for effective claims management. Question 3. Scenario. Mrs. Thompson recently purchased a surplus lines insurance policy for her commercial property in Iowa. A fire caused significant damage to the property and she has filed a claim. During the policy analysis, the claims adjuster, Mr. Carter, finds an exclusion clause related to fire damage caused by faulty wiring. However, Mrs. Thompson believes her policy covers all types of fire damage. What should Mr. Carter do in this situation? A. Explain the exclusion clause to Mrs. Thompson and proceed according to the policy terms. B. Ignore the exclusion and process the claim as fully covered. C. Advise Mrs. Thompson to contact the policy's underwriter for clarification. D. Request an independent investigation to determine the cause of the fire. Correct answer A. Explain the exclusion clause to Mrs. Thompson and proceed according to the policy terms. Explanation. Mr. Carter should explain the exclusion clause to Mrs. Thompson and proceed according to the policy terms. In Iowa, like in other states, surplus lines insurance policies often have specific exclusions that must be clearly communicated to the insured. The adjuster must interpret the policy language accurately and inform the policyholder of any limitations or exclusions. Ignoring the exclusion or advising the insured incorrectly could lead to regulatory issues and potential litigation. While an independent investigation might be necessary to confirm the cause of the fire, the first step is always to ensure the policyholder understands the coverage and any applicable exclusions. Question 4. What is a primary requirement for surplus lines brokers under Iowa state regulations? A. Obtaining a surplus lines license. B. Setting the standard premium rates. C. Issuing policy endorsements and renewals. D. Conducting annual audits of all policies. Correct answer A. Obtaining a surplus lines license. Explanation. In Iowa, surplus lines brokers must obtain a surplus lines license to legally place and manage surplus lines insurance. This requirement ensures that brokers have the necessary knowledge and qualifications to handle these specialized insurance products. Setting premium rates, issuing endorsements, and conducting audits are functions typically handled by other insurance professionals and do not require a surplus lines license. Question 5. Which of the following is a crucial step in the settlement of surplus lines insurance claims? A. Determining underwriting guidelines. B. Negotiating and reaching a settlement agreement. C. Reviewing marketing strategies. D. Setting reinsurance rates. Correct answer. B. Negotiating and reaching a settlement agreement explanation. Negotiating and reaching a settlement agreement is a critical step in the surplus lines insurance claims settlement process. This involves discussions between the claims adjuster and the insured or their representative to agree on the amount to be paid for the claim. It requires thorough documentation, clear communication, and adherence to regulatory guidelines, ensuring that the settlement is fair and compliant with Iowa's insurance regulations. Question 6. Which of the following techniques is often used during a surplus lines claims investigation to determine the legitimacy of a claim? A. Reviewing premium payment history. B. Interviewing insureds, witnesses, and other parties involved in the claim. C. Developing new policy provisions. D. Setting marketing goals. Correct answer. B. Interviewing insureds, witnesses, and other parties involved in the claim explanation. Interviewing insureds, witnesses, and other parties involved in the claim is a fundamental technique in surplus lines claims investigation. This helps gather first-hand accounts and relevant information to assess the validity of the claim. Claims investigators must be skilled in conducting these interviews to obtain accurate and comprehensive details, which are crucial for making informed decisions about claim settlements. Reviewing premium payments, developing policy provisions, and setting marketing goals are not part of the claims investigation process. Question 7. What is an ethical consideration that surplus lines claims adjusters must adhere to? A. Sharing policyholder information with marketing teams. B. Maintaining confidentiality of policyholder information. C. Prioritizing company profits over policyholder satisfaction. D. Ignoring minor inaccuracies in claim documents. Correct answer. B. Maintaining confidentiality of policyholder information explanation. Maintaining confidentiality of policyholder information is a key ethical consideration for surplus lines claims adjusters. They must protect sensitive information and ensure it is not disclosed to unauthorized parties. This practice is vital for maintaining trust and complying with privacy laws, such as the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, and state-specific regulations in Iowa. Sharing information with marketing teams, prioritizing profits over satisfaction, and ignoring inaccuracies are unethical and could lead to severe legal and professional consequences. Question 8. What is a primary responsibility of surplus lines claims adjusters during the litigation process? A. Determining premium rates. B. Providing documentation and evidence. C. Issuing new policies. D. Conducting marketing research. Correct answer. B. Providing documentation and evidence explanation. During the litigation process, surplus lines claims adjusters are responsible for providing documentation and evidence to support the defense or prosecution of the claim. This includes detailed records of the claim investigation, communications, policy provisions, and any other relevant information. This responsibility ensures that the legal process is informed and that the claims are handled according to Iowa's legal and regulatory standards. Determining premium rates, issuing policies, and conducting marketing research are not part of the litigation responsibilities. Question 9. Scenario. Mr. Williams owns a small manufacturing business in Iowa and has a surplus lines insurance policy. After a significant storm, his facility suffered extensive damage. The claims adjuster, Ms. Davis, is working with Mr. Williams to settle the claim. Mr. Williams is unsatisfied with the initial settlement offer and believes the valuation of his losses is too low. What should Ms. Davis do to reach a fair settlement? A. Review the claim documentation and reevaluate the loss estimation. B. Close the claim without further negotiation. C. Advise Mr. Williams to accept the initial offer. D. Escalate the claim to the underwriter without reevaluation. Correct answer. A. Review the claim documentation and reevaluate the loss estimation explanation. Ms. Davis should review the claim documentation and reevaluate the loss estimation to address Mr. Williams' concerns. This approach ensures that all evidence and calculations are thoroughly examined and that any errors or omissions are corrected. By reevaluating the claim, the adjuster can potentially reach A fair and satisfactory settlement that complies with Iowa's regulatory requirements, closing the claim without negotiation, advising acceptance of the initial offer without re-evaluation, or escalating without review would be inappropriate and could result in regulatory and reputational issues. Question 10. What is a key consideration when interpreting policy language in surplus lines insurance? A. Setting underwriting standards. B. Understanding coverage limitations and exclusions. C. Developing marketing campaigns. D. Determining reinsurance strategies. Correct answer. B. Understanding coverage limitations and exclusions explanation. Understanding coverage limitations and exclusions is a crucial consideration when interpreting policy language in surplus lines insurance, just as must be able to accurately determine what is and isn't covered under the policy to handle claims correctly. This involves careful analysis of the policy's terms, conditions, and any specific exclusions that apply. In Iowa, as elsewhere, this understanding is essential for ensuring that claims are processed in compliance with regulatory standards. Setting underwriting standards, developing marketing campaigns, and determining reinsurance strategies are unrelated to policy interpretation. Question 11. Which best practice is essential for gathering evidence in surplus lines claims investigations? A. Ignoring minor inconsistencies in witness statements. B. Documenting all findings thoroughly and accurately. C. Limiting communication with the insured. D. Estimating losses based on assumptions without evidence. Correct answer. B. Documenting all findings thoroughly and accurately. Explanation. Documenting all findings thoroughly and accurately is essential for gathering evidence in surplus lines claims investigations. Proper documentation ensures that all aspects of the investigation are recorded, providing a clear and detailed account of the process. This is critical for making informed decisions and for legal and regulatory compliance in Iowa. Ignoring inconsistencies, limiting communication, and making assumptions without evidence are poor practices that can compromise the integrity of the investigation and lead to incorrect claim outcomes. Question 12. Which factor is considered when determining coverage and liability in surplus lines claims? A. The profitability of the insurance company. B. The specific terms and conditions outlined in the policy. C. The policyholder's personal financial situation. D. The insurance company's marketing strategy. Correct answer. B. The specific terms and conditions outlined in the policy explanation. When determining coverage and liability in surplus lines claims, the specific terms and conditions outlined in the policy are the primary factors considered. These terms define the scope of coverage, including any exclusions or limitations. In Iowa, claims adjusters must adhere to these terms to ensure that claims are evaluated and processed according to the policy's provisions and in compliance with state regulations. The insurance company's profitability, the policyholder's financial situation, and marketing strategies are not relevant to this determination. Question 13. Which of the following is a key characteristic of surplus lines insurance? A. Regulated by federal insurance laws. B. Typically covers high risk or unique exposures not covered by standard insurers. C. Available only to large corporations. D. Always offers low premiums compared to standard insurance. Correct answer. B. Typically covers high risk or unique exposures not covered by standard insurers. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance is designed to cover high risk or unique exposures that standard insurers are unwilling or unable to cover. This makes it a crucial option for businesses and individuals with specialized insurance needs. Surplus lines insurance is regulated by state laws, including those in Iowa, rather than federal laws. It is available to both large corporations and smaller entities, depending on their specific risk profiles, and premiums can be higher due to the higher risk nature of the coverage. Question 14. Which document is critical for ensuring effective communication during the surplus lines claims handling process? A. Claim log and notes. B. Marketing plans. C. Underwriting guidelines. D. Reinsurance treaty. Correct answer. A. Claim log and notes explanation. A claim log and notes are critical for ensuring effective communication during the surplus lines claims handling process. This documentation provides a detailed record of all communications, actions taken, and decisions made throughout the claims lifecycle. It ensures transparency and accountability and is essential for compliance with regulatory requirements in Iowa. Marketing plans, underwriting guidelines, and reinsurance treaties are not directly involved in the claims handling process. Question 15. Which of the following is a key term often found in surplus lines insurance policies? A. Dividend distribution. B. Declarations page. C. Policyholder equity. D. Premium tax allocation. Correct answer. B. Declarations page explanation. The declarations page is a key term and an essential part of a surplus lines insurance policy. It provides a summary of the insured, the coverage provided, policy limits, premiums, and other important details. Understanding the information on the declarations page is crucial for both the insured and the claims adjuster to ensure proper policy analysis and claims handling. Dividend distribution, policyholder equity, and premium tax allocation are not typically key terms within the context of policy analysis. Question 16. Which approach should be used when interviewing witnesses during a surplus lines claims investigation? A. Making assumptions about the witness's credibility. B. Asking open-ended questions to gather comprehensive information. C. Limiting the interview to pre-written questions only. D. Avoiding detailed note-taking. Correct answer. B. Asking open-ended questions to gather comprehensive information. Explanation. Asking open-ended questions during a surplus lines claims investigation is crucial to gathering comprehensive information. This approach allows witnesses to provide detailed accounts and insights that might not surface with yes-no or leading questions. In Iowa, like in other states, thorough and unbiased investigation practices are essential for fair claims handling. Making assumptions, limiting questions, or avoiding detailed note-taking could lead to incomplete or biased information, compromising the investigation's integrity. Question 17. What is the primary goal when reserving and estimating claim costs in surplus lines insurance? A. Maximizing company profits. B. Ensuring that adequate funds are set aside to cover potential claim payments. C. Minimizing the insurer's financial exposure regardless of the policy terms. D. Speeding up the claim process without thorough evaluation. Correct answer. B. Ensuring that adequate funds are set aside to cover potential claim payments. Explanation. The primary goal when reserving and estimating claim costs in surplus lines insurance is to ensure that adequate funds are set aside to cover potential claim payments. This practice ensures that the insurer can fulfill its financial obligations to the policyholder, which is crucial for regulatory compliance and maintaining trust. In Iowa, accurate reserving practices are required by insurance regulations to protect the interests of all parties involved. Maximizing profits, minimizing exposure at the expense of policy terms, or speeding up the process without thorough evaluation are not appropriate goals. Question 18. Scenario. MS. Garcia owns a restaurant in Iowa and has a surplus lines insurance policy. After severe hailstorm, a restaurant sustained significant roof damage. She files a claim, but the insurer denies it, citing an exclusion for hail damage. MS. Garcia decides to pursue litigation. The claims adjuster, Mr. Johnson, needs to prepare for the litigation process. What should Mr. Johnson do to support the insurer's position? A. Destroy any evidence that contradicts the exclusion clause. B. Compile all relevant documentation and evidence supporting the exclusion. C. Ignore the litigation and focus on other claims. D. Advise MS. Garcia to drop the lawsuit without providing any reasons. Correct answer. B. Compile all relevant documentation and evidence supporting the exclusion. Explanation. Mr. Johnson should compile all relevant documentation and evidence supporting the exclusion clause to prepare for litigation. This includes the policy documents, any communication with MS. Garcia regarding the claim, and evidence showing that the hail damage exclusion is valid. In Iowa, thorough documentation and adherence to legal procedures are critical for defending the insurer's position in court. Destroying evidence, ignoring the litigation, or advising MS. Garcia to drop the lawsuit without reasons would be unethical and potentially illegal. Question 19. What is a professional standard for surplus lines claims adjusters? A. Prioritizing personal gain over policyholder interests. B. Acting with integrity and fairness in all claim dealings. C. Sharing confidential information with unauthorized parties. D. Ignoring regulatory requirements when inconvenient. Correct answer. B. Reporting claims to the State Insurance Department. Explanation. In Iowa, a regulatory requirement for surplus lines insurance is reporting claims to the State Insurance Department. This ensures that the state can monitor the handling of surplus lines claims and enforce compliance with regulations. Uniform premium rates, ignoring regulations, and marketing directly to consumers are not related to this reporting requirement. Question 20. What is a vital role of surplus lines claims adjusters during the litigation process? A. Setting reinsurance rates. B. Working with legal counsel to prepare the case. C. Designing new insurance products. D. Conducting market research. Correct answer. B. Working with legal counsel to prepare a case explanation. During the litigation process, surplus lines claims adjusters play a vital role in working with legal counsel to prepare the case. This includes providing necessary documentation, evidence, and expert testimony to support the defense or prosecution of the claim. In Iowa, adjusters must ensure that their actions comply with legal standards and contribute to a fair and just resolution. Setting reinsurance rates, designing products, and conducting market research are not relevant to the litigation process. Question 21. What is an essential element of effective communication during the surplus lines claims handling process? A. Ignoring policyholder inquiries. B. Providing clear and timely updates to the insured. C. Avoiding documentation of conversations. D. Only communicating in writing. Correct answer. B. Providing clear and timely updates to the insured. Explanation. Providing clear and timely updates to the insured is an essential element of effective communication during the surplus lines claims handling process. This ensures that policyholders are kept informed about the status of their claims and any required actions. In Iowa, maintaining open and transparent communication helps build trust and ensures compliance with regulatory requirements. Ignoring inquiries, avoiding documentation, and only communicating in writing are poor practices that can lead to misunderstandings and non-compliance. Question 22. What factor is critical when reserving and estimating claim costs in surplus lines insurance? A. Marketing budget allocation. B. Historical claim data and trends. C. Policyholders' credit score. D. Advertising expenses. Correct answer. B. Historical claim data and trends. Explanation. Historical claim data and trends are critical factors when reserving and estimating claim costs in surplus lines insurance. This data helps adjusters predict future claim expenses based on past experiences, ensuring accurate financial planning and risk management. In Iowa, using reliable data is essential for maintaining regulatory compliance and financial stability. Marketing budgets, credit scores, and advertising expenses are unrelated to reserving and estimating claim costs. Question 23. Which of the following best describes a crucial aspect of claims investigation in surplus lines insurance? A. Setting reinsurance rates. B. Gathering evidence and conducting interviews. C. Developing new insurance products. D. Conducting market analysis. Correct answer. B. Gathering evidence and conducting interviews. Explanation. Gathering evidence and conducting interviews are crucial aspects of claims investigation in surplus lines insurance. This process ensures that all relevant information is collected to assess the validity and extent of the claim. In Iowa, claims adjusters must follow best practices to conduct thorough and fair investigations, complying with state regulations. Setting reinsurance rates, developing products, and conducting market analysis are not part of the claims investigation process. Question 24. Why is it important to understand the key terms and definitions in surplus lines policies? A. To set marketing goals. B. To ensure accurate interpretation of coverage. C. To develop new underwriting guidelines. D. To determine reinsurance strategies. Correct answer. B. To ensure accurate interpretation of coverage explanation. Understanding the key terms and definitions in surplus lines policies is crucial for ensuring accurate interpretation of coverage. This knowledge helps claims adjusters determine what is covered and what is excluded under the policy. In Iowa, accurate interpretation is essential for compliance with state regulations and for avoiding disputes. Setting marketing goals, developing underwriting guidelines, and determining reinsurance strategies are not related to understanding policy terms. Question 25. Which action reflects ethical behavior in surplus lines claims handling? A. Ignoring discrepancies in claims. B. Handling conflicts of interest transparently. C. Prioritizing company profits over policyholder needs. D. Sharing confidential information without consent. Correct answer. B. Handling conflicts of interest transparently. Explanation. Handling conflicts of interest transparently reflects ethical behavior in surplus lines claims handling. This involves disclosing any potential conflicts and ensuring they do not influence the claims process. In Iowa, ethical standards require claims professionals to act with integrity and fairness. Ignoring discrepancies, prioritizing profits over needs, and sharing confidential information without consent are unethical practices that can lead to legal and professional consequences. Question 26. What is a typical step in documenting settlement agreements for surplus lines insurance claims? A. Ignoring the policyholder's consent. B. Clearly outlining the terms and conditions of the settlement. C. Finalizing the settlement verbally without records. D. Setting new policy premiums. Correct answer. B. Clearly outlining the terms and conditions of the settlement explanation. Clearly outlining the terms and conditions of the settlement is a typical step in documenting settlement agreements for surplus lines insurance claims. This ensures that both parties understand and agree to the settlement details, reducing the risk of future disputes. In Iowa, proper documentation is essential for regulatory compliance and for maintaining transparency in the claims process. Ignoring consent, finalizing settlements verbally, and setting premiums are not appropriate steps in documenting settlements. Question 27. Scenario: MS. Lee owns a restaurant in Iowa and has a surplus lines insurance policy. After a kitchen fire, she files a claim for the damages. The claims adjuster, Mr. Brown, finds conflicting reports about the cause of the fire and anticipates potential litigation. What should Mr. Brown do to prepare for possible litigation? A. Gather all relevant evidence and documentation. B. Deny the claim without further investigation. C. Ignore the conflicting reports. D. Escalate the claim to the marketing department. Correct answer. A. Gather all relevant evidence and documentation. Explanation. Mr. Brown should gather all relevant evidence and documentation to prepare for possible litigation. This includes photos of the damage, expert reports, witness statements, and any other pertinent information. In Iowa, thorough documentation and evidence are crucial for supporting the case in court and for ensuring regulatory compliance. Denying the claim without investigation, ignoring reports, and escalating to the marketing department are inappropriate actions in this scenario. Question 28. Which of the following best describes the role of key stakeholders in surplus lines claims handling? A. Setting new underwriting guidelines. B. Ensuring all aspects of the claim are managed properly. C. Conducting market research. D. Developing new insurance products. Correct answer. B. Ensuring all aspects of the claim are managed properly. Explanation. Key stakeholders in surplus lines claims handling are responsible for ensuring that all aspects of the claim are managed properly. This includes the claims adjuster, underwriter, legal counsel, and any other involved parties. They must work together to process the claim efficiently and fairly, complying with Iowa's regulatory requirements. Setting underwriting guidelines, conducting market research, and developing new products are not the primary roles of claims stakeholders. Question 29. What is an example of maintaining professional standards in surplus lines claims handling? A. Ignoring industry best practices. B. Ensuring accuracy and thoroughness in claim documentation. C. Prioritizing speed over quality in claim investigations. D. Sharing policyholder information with unauthorized parties. Correct answer. B. Ensuring accuracy and thoroughness in claim documentation. Explanation. Ensuring accuracy and thoroughness in claim documentation is an example of maintaining professional standards in surplus lines claims handling. Accurate documentation helps prevent errors and supports fair claim processing. In Iowa, adhering to professional standards is crucial for maintaining trust and complying with regulatory requirements. Ignoring best practices, prioritizing speed over quality, and sharing information inappropriately are unprofessional behaviors that can lead to serious consequences. Question 30. Which regulatory requirement must surplus lines insurers in Iowa comply with? A. Ignoring state-specific regulations. B. Submitting annual reports to the Iowa Insurance Division. C. Setting uniform premium rates nationwide. D. Marketing directly to unlicensed brokers. Correct answer. B. Submitting annual reports to the Iowa Insurance Division. Explanation. Surplus lines insurers in Iowa must comply with the regulatory requirement of submitting annual reports to the Iowa Insurance Division. These reports ensure that the state can monitor the insurer's activities and enforce compliance with regulations. Ignoring state regulations, setting uniform rates nationwide, and marketing to unlicensed brokers are not compliant practices and can result in penalties and legal issues. Question 31. Why is interpreting policy language and exclusions crucial in surplus lines insurance claims handling? A. To increase the insurer's profit margins. B. To determine the scope of coverage accurately. C. To design new insurance products. D. To manage the company's investment portfolio. Correct answer. B. To determine the scope of coverage accurately. Explanation. Interpreting policy language and exclusions is crucial to determine the scope of coverage accurately in surplus lines insurance claims handling. This ensures that claims are processed based on the exact terms and conditions agreed upon in the policy. In Iowa, accurate interpretation helps avoid disputes and ensures compliance with regulatory standards. Increasing profit margins, designing products, and managing investments are unrelated to claims handling. Question 32. Which technique is commonly used to gather evidence in surplus lines insurance claims investigations? A. Conducting advertising campaigns. B. Interviewing witnesses and involved parties. C. Setting underwriting guidelines. D. Analyzing market trends. Correct answer. B. Interviewing witnesses and involved parties. Explanation. Interviewing witnesses and involved parties is a commonly used technique to gather evidence in surplus lines insurance claims investigations. This helps obtain detailed account of the incident, supporting a thorough evaluation of the claim. In Iowa, proper evidence gathering is essential for fair claims processing and regulatory compliance. Advertising, setting guidelines, and analyzing market trends are unrelated to claims investigation. Question 33. Mr. Peterson, insured under surplus lines insurance policy in Iowa, files a claim for extensive water damage to his property. The insurance adjuster reviews the policy and denies coverage, citing a specific exclusion clause related to gradual water damage. Mr. Peterson disagrees with the denial. What should Mr. Peterson do to contest the denial of his claim? A. File a complaint with the Iowa Insurance Division. B. Accept the denial as final and seek other means of repair. C. Initiate legal proceedings against the insurance company. D. Request a revaluation of the claim by a different adjuster. Correct answer A. File a complaint with the Iowa Insurance Division. Explanation. In Iowa, insureds have recourse to challenge claim denials through regulatory bodies such as the Iowa Insurance Division. This is in line with Iowa's regulatory framework that ensures fair claims practices and consumer protection. Filing a complaint initiates a review process by the regulatory authority to assess whether the denial was justified under the terms of the surplus lines policy and applicable state regulations. Question 34. Which of the following best describes the primary purpose of surplus lines insurance in Iowa? A. Providing coverage for risks that admitted insurers are unwilling to insure. B. Offering low premiums compared to standard insurance policies. C. Exempting policyholders from state insurance regulations. D. Insuring only high net worth individuals. Correct answer A. Providing coverage for risks that admitted insurers are unwilling to insure. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance in Iowa serves to cover risks that admitted insurers, who are licensed in the state, decline to insure due to their unusual or high-risk nature. This function helps ensure that these risks can still be insured, albeit through non-admitted insurers, providing flexibility in the insurance market. Iowa's regulatory framework includes specific licensing requirements and oversight to manage these unique risks while protecting policyholders. Question 35. MS. Ramirez is handling a complex surplus lines insurance claim involving multiple parties and significant damages in Iowa. What is a critical role for MS Ramirez as the claims adjuster in this situation? A. Determining liability solely based on policy language. B. Negotiating a settlement without involving legal counsel. C. Ensuring compliance with regulatory requirements. D. Issuing payments quickly to resolve the claim faster. Correct answer. C. Ensuring compliance with regulatory requirements. Explanation. In Iowa and across the U.S., compliance with regulatory requirements is crucial in surplus lines claims handling. This includes adhering to fair claims practices, maintaining proper documentation, and ensuring all actions are within the bounds of state insurance laws. MS Ramirez's role involves not only assessing coverage and liability, but also navigating the complex regulatory landscape to protect the interests of all parties involved. Question 36. Under Iowa surplus lines insurance regulations, what is a key responsibility of a surplus lines broker? A. Ensuring prompt payment of claims. B. Issuing insurance policies directly to insured. C. Placing insurance with non-admitted insurers. D. Arbitrating claims disputes between insureds and insurers. Correct answer. C. Placing insurance with non-admitted insurers. Explanation. Surplus lines brokers in Iowa facilitate the placement of insurance coverage with non-admitted insurers for risks that admitted insurers decline to cover. This role is essential in providing insurance solutions for unique or high-risk situations where coverage may not be available through licensed insurers. Question 37. In the context of surplus lines insurance in Iowa, what does exportable surplus lines insurance typically refer to? A. Insurance policies that can be sold internationally. B. Policies that can be transferred between surplus lines insurers. C. Coverage provided to risks located outside Iowa. D. Policies eligible for exemption from state insurance regulations. Correct answer. C. Coverage provided to risks located outside Iowa. Explanation. Exportable surplus lines insurance in Iowa refers to coverage provided to risks located outside the state. This type of insurance is regulated by the state where the risk is located rather than Iowa, provided certain conditions are met under the state surplus lines laws and regulations. Question 38. MS Nguyen, an insurance adjuster handling a surplus lines claim in Iowa, suspects fraudulent activity related to the claim. What should MS Nguyen do according to Iowa insurance regulations? A. Proceed with the claim investigation as usual. B. Report suspicions of fraud to the Iowa Insurance Fraud Bureau. C. Deny the claim immediately based on suspicion. D. Request additional evidence from the insured. Correct answer. B. Report suspicions of fraud to the Iowa Insurance Fraud Bureau. Explanation. Iowa regulations require insurance professionals, including adjusters, to report suspicions of insurance fraud to the Iowa Insurance Fraud Bureau. This helps combat fraudulent activities in the insurance industry and ensures compliance with ethical and legal standards in claims handling. Question 39. Which statement accurately reflects the role of surplus lines insurers in Iowa? A. They are exempt from state insurance regulations. B. They must file their rates with the Iowa Insurance Division. C. They are allowed to operate without a valid license. D. They can deny claims without providing a reason. Correct answer. B. They must file their rates with the Iowa Insurance Division. Explanation. Surplus lines insurers in Iowa must file their rates with the Iowa Insurance Division and comply with other regulatory requirements despite being non-admitted insurers. This ensures transparency and regulatory oversight in the surplus lines market. Question 40. Which of the following is a characteristic of surplus lines insurance policies in Iowa? A. They are always cheaper than standard insurance policies. B. They are issued by licensed insurers only. C. They provide coverage for standard risks only. D. They may have higher premiums due to higher risk. Correct answer. D. They may have higher premiums due to higher risk. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance policies in Iowa often cover risks that admitted insurers consider too high risk or unusual. As a result, premiums for surplus lines policies may be higher to reflect the increased risk exposure covered by non-admitted insurers. Question 41. In Iowa surplus lines insurance, what is the primary function of a surplus lines broker? A. Settling claims on behalf of the insured. B. Placing insurance with non-admitted insurers. C. Underwriting surplus lines policies. D. Issuing insurance policies to policyholders. Correct answer. B. Placing insurance with non-admitted insurers. Explanation. Surplus lines brokers in Iowa facilitate the placement of insurance coverage with non-admitted insurers for risks that admitted insurers decline to cover. They act as intermediaries between insureds and non-admitted insurers to secure coverage for non-standard or high-risk situations. Question 42. Under Iowa surplus lines insurance regulations, when can a surplus lines broker place insurance with a non-admitted insurer? A. Only if the insurance premium is lower than standard market rates. B. Only if the insured has been declined coverage by at least 3 admitted insurers. C. Only if the Iowa Insurance Division approves the placement. D. When coverage is unavailable from admitted insurers. Correct answer. D. When coverage is unavailable from admitted insurers. Explanation. In Iowa, surplus lines brokers can place insurance with non-admitted insurers when coverage is unavailable from admitted insurers due to the nature of the risk or other factors. This regulatory flexibility allows insureds to obtain coverage for risks that may not be insurable through licensed insurers. Question 43. Mr. Lee, insured under a surplus lines policy in Iowa, submits a claim for damages to his business property caused by a storm. The insurer requests additional documentation before processing the claim. What is the insurer's primary reason for requesting additional documentation? A. To delay claim payment. B. To verify the authenticity of the claim. C. To deny the claim based on insufficient evidence. D. To comply with regulatory requirements. Correct answer. D. To comply with regulatory requirements. Explanation. Insurers handling surplus lines claims in Iowa must comply with regulatory requirements, which often include requesting additional documentation to verify the claim, assess coverage, and ensure all actions are in accordance with state insurance laws. Question 44. Which factor distinguishes surplus lines insurance from standard admitted insurance in Iowa? A. Low premiums for comparable coverage. B. Exemption from state insurance regulations. C. Coverage for high risk or unusual risks. D. Unlimited policy terms. Correct answer. C. Coverage for high risk or unusual risks. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance in Iowa provides coverage for risks that admitted insurers decline to cover due to their high risk or unusual nature. This distinction allows insureds to obtain coverage tailored to specific needs that may not be available through licensed insurers. Question 45. In Iowa, which entity oversees the licensing and regulation of surplus lines insurers? A. Iowa Department of Revenue. B. Iowa Insurance Division. C. Iowa Department of Commerce. D. Iowa Department of Banking. Correct answer. B. Iowa Insurance Division. Explanation. The Iowa Insurance Division regulates surplus lines insurers, ensuring compliance with state insurance laws and overseeing the licensing of surplus lines brokers. This regulatory oversight aims to protect consumers and maintain the integrity of the insurance market. Question 46. In Iowa, what is a primary advantage of surplus lines insurance compared to standard admitted insurance? A. Low deductible options. B. Faster claims processing times. C. Broader coverage options. D. Guaranteed policy renewals. Correct answer. C. Broader coverage options. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance in Iowa provides coverage for risks that standard admitted insurers typically exclude or do not cover. This broader coverage options allow insureds to tailor insurance policies to specific needs that may not be available through admitted insurers. Question 47. Under Iowa surplus lines insurance regulations, what is the role of the Surplus Lines Association? A. Settling disputes between insureds and insurers. B. Regulating surplus lines brokers. C. Filing surplus lines insurance rates. D. Monitoring surplus lines policy cancellations. Correct answer. C. Filing surplus lines insurance rates. Explanation. The Surplus Lines Association in Iowa assists surplus lines insurers by filing insurance rates with the Iowa Insurance Division. This ensures compliance with state regulations and facilitates the placement of surplus lines insurance coverage for non-standard risks. Question 48. MS. Carter, an insurance adjuster handling a surplus lines claim in Iowa, discovers potential coverage issues due to ambiguous policy language. What should MS. Carter do according to Iowa insurance regulations? A. Interpret the policy language in favor of the insured. B. Seek clarification from the insured's legal counsel. C. Document the issue and consult with the insurer. D. Deny the claim based on policy ambiguity. Correct answer. C. Document the issue and consult with the insurer. Explanation. In Iowa, insurance adjusters handling surplus lines claims should document any coverage issues due to ambiguous policy language and consult with the insurer to resolve the matter. This ensures compliance with fair claims practices and regulatory requirements in claims handling. Question 49. Which statement accurately reflects the claims handling process in Iowa surplus lines insurance? A. Claims must be resolved within 30 days of filing. B. Insureds have no recourse if a claim is denied. C. Insurers must provide a written explanation for claim denials. D. Claims can be denied without notification to the insured. Correct answer. C. Insurers must provide a written explanation for claim denials. Explanation. In Iowa, insurers handling surplus lines claims must provide a written explanation for claim denials to insureds. This requirement ensures transparency and allows insureds to understand the reasons for claim decisions, supporting fair claims practices. Question 50. Under Iowa surplus lines insurance regulations, what is the significance of an eligible surplus lines insurer? A. They are exempt from paying state premium taxes. B. They are automatically approved to operate nationwide. C. They meet specific financial and regulatory requirements. D. They can only write policies for high-risk individuals. Correct answer. C. They meet specific financial and regulatory requirements. Explanation. Eligible surplus lines insurers in Iowa must meet stringent financial and regulatory requirements to ensure they can responsibly underwrite insurance for non-standard risks. This includes demonstrating financial stability in compliance with state insurance laws. Question 51. What is a key characteristic of surplus lines insurance policies in Iowa? A. They are fully guaranteed by the state government. B. They are backed by surplus lines insurance associations. C. They may lack certain consumer protections. D. They offer unlimited coverage amounts. Correct answer. C. They may lack certain consumer protections. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance policies in Iowa provided by non-admitted insurers may lack certain consumer protections compared to policies issued by admitted insurers. This includes fewer regulatory requirements and potential differences in coverage terms. Question 52. In Iowa, what is the primary purpose of the exportable list maintained by surplus lines brokers? A. To track policies issued to non-residents of Iowa. B. To monitor policy cancellations by surplus lines insurers. C. To ensure compliance with state tax requirements. D. To determine which insurers can write surplus lines insurance. Correct answer. D. To determine which insurers can write surplus lines insurance. Explanation. The exportable list maintained by surplus lines brokers in Iowa identifies insurers approved to write surplus lines insurance for risks located outside the state. This ensures compliance with Iowa's regulatory requirements and facilitates insurance placements for non-resident risks. Question 53. Under Iowa surplus lines insurance regulations, what is the primary responsibility of surplus lines brokers regarding policyholder taxes? A. Collecting taxes from policyholders and remitting them to the state. B. Advising policyholders on tax deductions related to premiums. C. Ensuring policyholders are exempt from paying state taxes. D. Reporting tax liabilities to the Iowa Department of Revenue. Correct answer A. Collecting taxes from policyholders and remitting them to the state. Explanation. Surplus lines brokers in Iowa are responsible for collecting state premium taxes from policyholders and remitting these taxes to the Iowa Department of Revenue. This ensures compliance with state tax regulations related to surplus lines insurance transactions. Question 54. Under Iowa surplus lines insurance regulations, what is the purpose of the diligent search requirement for surplus lines placements? A. To determine if the insured has alternative coverage options. B. To verify the identity of the insured before policy issuance. C. To assess the risk profile of the insured. D. To confirm that coverage is unavailable from admitted insurers. Correct answer. D. To confirm that coverage is unavailable from admitted insurers. Explanation. The diligent search requirement in Iowa ensures that surplus lines insurance is placed only when coverage cannot be obtained from licensed insurers. This process involves documenting efforts to secure coverage from admitted insurers before turning to non-admitted insurers. Question 55. Which statement best describes the regulatory oversight of surplus lines insurance in Iowa? A. It is governed solely by federal insurance regulations. B. It is managed by a separate surplus lines insurance division. C. It is overseen by the Iowa Insurance Division. D. It is subject to oversight by the Iowa Department of Commerce. Correct answer. C. It is overseen by the Iowa Insurance Division. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance in Iowa is regulated and overseen by the Iowa Insurance Division, which ensures compliance with state insurance laws, licensing requirements, and fair claims practices for non-admitted insurers. Question 56. MS. Anderson, an insurance adjuster in Iowa, is handling a complex surplus lines claim involving multiple insured parties. What is a critical step for MS Anderson in this situation? A. Settling the claim without involving legal counsel. B. Communicating regularly with the surplus lines broker. C. Documenting all claim activities and communications. D. Negotiating a quick settlement to avoid legal action. Correct answer. C. Documenting all claim activities and communications. Explanation. In Iowa, documenting all claim activities and communications is crucial for claims handling, especially in complex cases involving multiple parties. This ensures transparency, compliance with regulatory requirements, and protection against potential disputes. Question 57. What is a key difference between surplus lines insurance and admitted insurance in Iowa? A. Surplus lines insurers can deny claims more easily. B. Surplus lines policies are not subject to rate filing. C. Surplus lines insurers do not pay state premium taxes. D. Surplus lines policies provide broader coverage options. Correct answer. D. Surplus lines policies provide broader coverage options. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance in Iowa offers coverage for risks that standard admitted insurers may decline to cover, providing broader options tailored to specific needs. This flexibility distinguishes surplus lines insurance from policies offered by licensed insurers. Question 58. Which action by an insurance adjuster handling a surplus lines claim in Iowa demonstrates compliance with fair claims practices? A. Denying a claim without providing a reason. B. Offering a settlement amount below policy limit. C. Conducting a thorough investigation of the claim. D. Delaying claim payments without notification. Correct answer. C. Conducting a thorough investigation of the claim. Explanation. Conducting a thorough investigation of the claim is a key component of fair claims practices in Iowa surplus lines insurance. This ensures that claims decisions are based on accurate information and comply with regulatory requirements. Question 59. What is the primary role of the National Association of Insurance Commissioners (NAIC) in relation to surplus lines insurance? A. Setting federal guidelines for surplus lines tax reporting. B. Establishing uniform surplus lines insurance regulations. C. Overseeing surplus lines insurance licensing nationwide. D. Providing financial backing for surplus lines policies. Correct answer. B. Establishing uniform surplus lines insurance regulations. Explanation. The NAIC works to establish uniform regulations and guidelines for surplus lines insurance across states, ensuring consistency and regulatory compliance in surplus lines insurance operations. Question 60. Under Iowa surplus lines insurance regulations, what is the purpose of the exportable list maintained by surplus lines brokers? A. To track insurance policies issued to non-residents of Iowa. B. To monitor surplus lines insurance policy cancellations. C. To determine eligibility for surplus lines insurance placement. D. To comply with state premium tax reporting requirements. Correct answer. C. To determine eligibility for surplus lines insurance placement. Explanation. The exportable list in Iowa helps surplus lines brokers identify eligible insurers approved to write surplus lines insurance for risks located outside the state. This ensures compliance with Iowa's regulatory requirements and facilitates insurance placements for non-resident risks. Question 61. Mr. Patel, an insured under surplus lines policy in Iowa, is dissatisfied with the claims handling process and suspects unfair treatment by the insurer. What should Mr. Patel do according to Iowa insurance regulations? A. File a complaint with the surplus lines insurer directly. B. Seek arbitration through the Iowa Insurance Division. C. Litigate against the insurer without further notice. D. Contact the Iowa Insurance Fraud Bureau. Correct answer. B. Seek arbitration through the Iowa Insurance Division. Explanation. Iowa insurance regulations provide avenues for insureds to resolve disputes through arbitration or mediation facilitated by the Iowa Insurance Division. This process helps address grievances related to claims handling and ensures fair treatment under state insurance laws. Question 62. Which statement accurately reflects the role of surplus lines insurance brokers in Iowa? A. They act as advocates for insureds in claims disputes. B. They issue insurance policies directly to policyholders. C. They collect premium taxes from insureds. D. They facilitate the placement of surplus lines insurance. Correct answer. D. They facilitate the placement of surplus lines insurance. Explanation. Surplus lines brokers in Iowa facilitate the placement of insurance coverage with non-admitted insurers for risks that standard admitted insurers decline to cover. They act as intermediaries between insureds and non-admitted insurers to secure coverage for non-standard or high-risk situations. Question 63. What is a critical responsibility of surplus lines insurers in Iowa regarding policy issuance? A. Issuing policies without regulatory approval. B. Providing coverage for all types of risk. C. Filing rates with the Iowa Insurance Division. D. Negotiating premiums with insureds directly. Correct answer. C. Filing rates with the Iowa Insurance Division. Explanation. Surplus lines insurers in Iowa must file their rates with the Iowa Insurance Division to ensure compliance with state insurance regulations and transparency in premium setting for surplus lines insurance policies. Question 64. Which factor contributes to the complexity of surplus lines insurance claims handling in Iowa? A. Low premiums compared to standard insurance. B. Limited availability of coverage options. C. Higher risk exposure and unusual claims. D. Simplified regulatory requirements. Correct answer. C. Higher risk exposure and unusual claims. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance in Iowa often involves high risk exposure and covers unusual claims that standard admitted insurers may decline to cover. This complexity requires thorough claims handling and adherence to specific regulatory requirements. Question 65. In Iowa, which of the following best practices is essential for a thorough surplus lines insurance claims investigation? A. Relying solely on the insured's statement. B. Ignoring third-party witness accounts. C. Utilizing outside experts and specialists. D. Avoiding detailed documentation. Correct answer. C. Utilizing outside experts and specialists. Explanation. In surplus lines insurance claims investigation, it is critical to use outside experts and specialists to ensure an objective and thorough evaluation. Experts can provide specialized knowledge and unbiased opinions, which are invaluable in complex claims. According to Iowa regulations and industry best practices, relying solely on the insured's statement, or ignoring third-party witness accounts. B. Can lead to biased or incomplete investigations. Detailed documentation. D. Is also essential for compliance and transparency. Reference: Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 20. Standards for prompt, fair, and equitable settlements applicable to all insurers. Question 66. Emily, a claims adjuster in Iowa, is handling a surplus lines claim where the insured's property sustained significant damage. The insured is pushing for a quick settlement, but there are discrepancies in the damage estimates provided by different contractors. What should Emily do to ensure a fair settlement? A. Accept the insured's preferred contractor's estimate without further review. B. Delay the settlement indefinitely until the insured agrees with the lowest estimate. C. Engage an independent appraiser to provide an unbiased estimate. D. Choose the estimate that benefits the insurer the most. Correct answer. C. Engage an independent appraiser to provide an unbiased estimate. Explanation: Emily should engage an independent appraiser to provide an unbiased estimate of the damage. This approach ensures fairness and accuracy in the settlement process. Accepting the insured's preferred contractor's estimate without further review can lead to inflated costs while delaying the settlement indefinitely. B. Is against fair claims practices. Choosing the estimate that benefits the insurer. D. May result in disputes and does not align with ethical claims handling. Reference: Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 20. Standards for prompt, fair, and equitable settlements applicable to all insurers. Question 67. Which of the following is a critical aspect of interpreting policy language and exclusions in Iowa surplus lines insurance policies? A. Ignoring policy definitions and relying on common usage of terms. B. Considering the intent of the policyholder over the written policy language. C. Evaluating the policy as a whole, including endorsements and exclusions. D. Focusing only on the coverage section and ignoring exclusions. Correct answer. C. Evaluating the policy as a whole, including endorsements and exclusions explanation. Interpreting policy language and exclusions requires evaluating the policy as a whole, including endorsements and exclusions. This comprehensive approach ensures that all relevant terms and conditions are considered. Ignoring policy definitions and focusing solely on common usage of terms can lead to misunderstandings. Considering the intent of the policyholder over the written policy language is not a valid legal approach, as courts generally interpret policies based on the plain language. Focusing only on the coverage section D without considering exclusions can result in an incomplete understanding of the policy. Question 68. In Iowa, when evaluating the extent and value of a surplus lines insurance claim, which method is most appropriate to determine coverage and liability? A. Reviewing only the initial claim report. B. Comparing the claim to similar past claims without reviewing policy specifics. C. Conducting a detailed analysis of the policy provisions and endorsements. D. Relying on the insured's interpretation of the policy. Correct answer. C. Conducting a detailed analysis of the policy provisions and endorsements explanation. A detailed analysis of the policy provisions and endorsements is crucial to determine coverage and liability accurately. This method ensures that all policy terms are considered, including any specific endorsements that may affect coverage. Reviewing only the initial claim report A, or relying on the insured's interpretation D, can lead to biased or incomplete evaluations. Comparing the claim to similar past claims B without reviewing policy specifics may overlook unique aspects of the current policy. Reference: Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus lines insurance. Question 69. Which of the following options best reflects the correct approach to documenting settlement agreements in Iowa surplus lines insurance claims? A. Keeping verbal agreements without written confirmation. B. Documenting the settlement with a detailed written agreement signed by all parties. C. Relying on email confirmations without formal documentation. D. Avoiding detailed documentation to expedite the settlement process. Correct answer. B. Documenting the settlement with a detailed written agreement signed by all parties. Explanation: documenting the settlement with a detailed written agreement signed by all parties ensures clarity and enforceability. This practice aligns with regulatory requirements and helps prevent future disputes. Keeping verbal agreements or relying solely on email confirmations. C. Lacks formal documentation and can lead to misunderstandings. Avoiding detailed documentation. D. May expedite the process temporarily but can cause significant issues later. Reference: Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 20. Standards for prompt, fair, and equitable settlements applicable to all insurers. Question 70. Which of the following best describes a key advantage of surplus lines insurance in Iowa? A. It provides coverage for standard risks that admitted insurers typically cover. B. It offers policies that are subject to the same state regulations as admitted insurers. C. It can provide coverage for unique or high-risk exposures not typically covered by admitted insurers. D. It eliminates the need for policyholders to pay taxes on their premiums. Correct answer. C. It can provide coverage for unique or high-risk exposures not typically covered by admitted insurers. Explanation: surplus lines insurance is designed to cover unique or high-risk exposures that admitted insurers are unwilling or unable to cover. This allows for greater flexibility in addressing specific needs that standard policies do not meet. Unlike admitted insurers, surplus lines insurers are not subject to the same state regulations. B. And policyholders are required to pay surplus lines taxes on their premiums. D. A reference: Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus lines insurance. Question 71. In Iowa, what is the primary role of a surplus lines broker in the claims handling process? A. To settle claims directly with the insured. B. To ensure compliance with regulatory requirements and facilitate communication between the insurer and the insured. C. To act as the final authority on claims decisions. D. To provide legal representation for the insured. Correct answer. B. To ensure compliance with regulatory requirements and facilitate communication between the insurer and the insured. Explanation. The primary role of a surplus lines broker in the claims handling process is to ensure compliance with regulatory requirements and facilitate effective communication between the insurer and the insured. Brokers do not settle claims directly, or act as the final authority on claims decisions. C. Providing legal representation. D. Is typically the role of an attorney, not a broker of reference. Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus Lines Insurance. Question 72. Which of the following is a key characteristic of surplus lines insurance policies in Iowa? A. They must follow the same policy forms and language as admitted insurers. B. They offer standardized policies without customization options. C. They are often more flexible and can be tailored to specific needs. D. They are subject to the same rate regulations as admitted insurers. Correct answer. C. They are often more flexible and can be tailored to specific needs. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance policies are often more flexible and can be tailored to meet specific needs, providing coverage for unique or high-risk exposures. Unlike admitted insurers, surplus lines insurers do not have to follow the same policy forms and are not subject to the same rate regulations. D. They offer customized options. B. To address specific coverage requirements. Reference: Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus Lines Insurance. Question 73. Which of the following is a best practice for gathering and evaluating evidence in surplus lines claims in Iowa? A. Relying on a single source of evidence. B. Documenting all findings and maintaining thorough records. C. Ignoring inconsistencies in witness statements. D. Avoiding the use of professional investigators. Correct answer. B. Documenting all findings and maintaining thorough records. Explanation. Documenting all findings and maintaining thorough records is a best practice in gathering and evaluating evidence in surplus lines claims. This approach ensures transparency and accountability, which are crucial for regulatory compliance and effective claims handling. Relying on a single source of evidence, or ignoring inconsistencies, C, can lead to incomplete or biased evaluations. Avoiding professional investigators, D, may result in a lack of expertise in the investigation process. Reference: Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus Lines Insurance. Question 74. When reserving and estimating claim costs in Iowa's surplus lines insurance claims, which of the following is a critical consideration? A. Estimating costs based solely on initial reports. B. Adjusting reserves regularly based on new information. C. Ignoring inflation and market trends. D. Setting reserves at the lowest possible amount to minimize liability. Correct answer. B. Adjusting reserves regularly based on new information. Explanation: adjusting reserves regularly based on new information is essential to accurately estimate claim costs and ensure sufficient funds are available to cover liabilities. Estimating costs based solely on initial reports, C, or ignoring inflation and market trends, C, can lead to under-reserving. Setting reserves at the lowest possible amount, D, may minimize liability in the short term, but can result in financial instability if actual costs exceed reserves. Reference: Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus Lines Insurance. Question 75. In Iowa, what is a key factor to consider when negotiating a surplus lines insurance claim settlement? A. Only the insurer's financial interests. B. The legal obligations and rights of both parties. C. The insured's demands regardless of policy terms. D. Minimizing the settlement amount without regard to coverage limits. Correct answer. B. The legal obligations and rights of both parties. Explanation: when negotiating a surplus lines insurance claim settlement, it is crucial to consider the legal obligations and rights of both parties. This ensures a fair and equitable settlement that complies with regulatory requirements. Focusing solely on the insurer's financial interests, or the insured's demands regardless of policy terms, C, can lead to disputes. Minimizing the settlement amount D without regard to coverage limits may result in inadequate compensation for the insured. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 20. Standards for prompt, fair, and equitable settlements applicable to all insurers. Question 76. In Iowa, what is the role of legal counsel in surplus lines insurance claims litigation? A. To make all decisions regarding the claim without input from the insurer. B. To provide advice and representation to the insurer during the litigation process. C. To settle claims directly with the insured without court involvement. D. To avoid providing documentation and evidence during litigation. Correct answer. B. To provide advice and representation to the insurer during the litigation process. Explanation. Legal counsel provides advice and representation to the insurer during the litigation process, ensuring that the insurer's interests are protected and that legal requirements are met. Counsel does not make all decisions independently. A. Settle claims directly without court involvement. C. Or avoid providing documentation. D. Effective legal representation is critical for navigating the complexities of litigation. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus lines insurance. Question 77. Which of the following is a fundamental ethical consideration in surplus lines claims handling in Iowa? A. Prioritizing the insurer's interests over the insured's rights. B. Ensuring confidentiality and privacy of the insured's information. C. Ignoring potential conflicts of interest. D. Delaying claims processing to benefit the insurer. Correct answer. B. Ensuring confidentiality and privacy of the insured's information. Explanation. Ensuring the confidentiality and privacy of the insured's information is a fundamental ethical consideration in surplus lines claims handling. This practice protects the insured's rights and complies with legal requirements. Prioritizing the insurer's interests. A. Ignoring conflicts of interest. C. Or delaying claims processing. D. Are unethical practices that can lead to regulatory penalties and damage the insurer's reputation. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 20. Standards for prompt, fair, and equitable settlements applicable to all insurers. Question 78. In Iowa, what is required for compliance with state regulations in surplus lines claims handling? A. Reporting claims to the state insurance department only if requested. B. Adhering to fair claims practices and consumer protection laws. C. Ignoring state regulations in favor of federal laws. D. Settling claims based on internal guidelines without regard to state laws. Correct answer. B. Adhering to fair claims practices and consumer protection laws. Explanation. Adhering to fair claims practices and consumer protection laws is required for compliance with state regulations in surplus lines claims handling. This ensures that claims are handled fairly and transparently. Reporting claims only if requested. A. Ignoring state regulations. C. Or selling claims based solely on internal guidelines. D. Can result in regulatory penalties and undermine consumer trust. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 20. Standards for prompt, fair, and equitable settlements applicable to all insurers. Question 79. Which of the following is a primary purpose of surplus lines insurance in Iowa? A. To provide coverage for standard, low-risk policies. B. To offer insurance solutions for high-risk or unique exposures not covered by admitted insurers. C. To reduce the regulatory burden on policyholders. D. To offer identical coverage as admitted insurers at a low cost. Correct answer. B. To offer insurance solutions for high-risk or unique exposures not covered by admitted insurers. Explanation. The primary purpose of surplus lines insurance is to provide coverage for high-risk or unique exposures that admitted insurers do not typically cover. This allows for specialized insurance solutions tailored to specific needs. Surplus lines insurance does not aim to reduce regulatory burdens. C. Or offer identical coverage at a low cost. D. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus lines insurance. Question 80. Which of the following best describes the importance of effective communication in the surplus lines insurance claims process in Iowa? A. It helps avoid unnecessary regulatory scrutiny. B. It ensures all stakeholders are informed and facilitates the resolution of claims. C. It allows the insurer to delay the claims process. D. It eliminates the need for detailed documentation. Correct answer. B. That ensures all stakeholders are informed and facilitates the resolution of claims. Explanation: effective communication is crucial in the surplus lines insurance claims process as it ensures that all stakeholders are informed and helps facilitate the resolution of claims. Clear and timely communication prevents misunderstandings and disputes. Avoiding regulatory scrutiny is not the primary purpose, and effective communication should not be used to delay the process. C. Or eliminate documentation. D. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 20. Standards for prompt, fair, and equitable settlements applicable to all insurers. Question 81. Which of the following is critical for understanding the coverage limitations in surplus lines insurance policies in Iowa? A. Reviewing only the declarations, page B. Examining the entire policy, including endorsements and exclusions. C. Ignoring the policy's exclusions. D. Assuming coverage based on verbal assurances from the broker. Correct answer. B. Examining the entire policy, including endorsements and exclusions. Explanation: understanding coverage limitations in surplus lines insurance policies requires examining the entire policy, including endorsements and exclusions. This ensures a comprehensive understanding of what is covered and any limitations or exclusions that apply. Reviewing only the declarations, page A, or ignoring exclusions, C, can lead to misunderstandings. Assuming coverage based on verbal assurances. D. Is not reliable or legally binding. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus lines insurance. Question 82. Which of the following techniques is essential for a thorough claims investigation in Iowa? A. Interviewing only the insured. B. Relying on assumptions without evidence. C. Gathering and evaluating evidence from multiple sources. D. Avoiding the use of outside experts. Correct answer. C. Gathering and evaluating evidence from multiple sources. Explanation: gathering and evaluating evidence from multiple sources is essential for a thorough claims investigation. This approach ensures that all relevant information is considered, leading to a more accurate and fair assessment. Interviewing only the insured. A. Or relying on assumptions. B. Can result in biased or incomplete investigations. Avoiding the use of outside experts. D. May limit the depth and expertise of the investigation. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus lines insurance. Question 83. When determining coverage and liability in Iowa surplus lines insurance claims, which of the following is a best practice? A. Ignoring policy exclusions. B. Reviewing the policy terms and conditions thoroughly. C. Relying solely on the insurer's interpretation. D. Avoiding consideration of the claim's merits. Correct answer. B. Reviewing the policy terms and conditions thoroughly. Explanation: reviewing the policy terms and conditions thoroughly is a best practice when determining coverage and liability. This ensures that all relevant provisions are considered and applied correctly. Ignoring policy exclusions. A. Relying solely on the insurer's interpretation. C. Or avoiding consideration of the claim's merits. D. Can lead to incorrect determinations and potential disputes. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus lines insurance. Question 84. In Iowa, which of the following is an acceptable settlement option in surplus lines insurance claims? A. Settling without a written agreement. B. Releasing and documenting the settlement agreement properly. C. Ignoring regulatory requirements to expedite the process. D. Settling based solely on verbal agreements. Correct answer. B. Releasing and documenting the settlement agreement properly. Explanation: releasing and documenting the settlement agreement properly is essential for ensuring that the terms of the settlement are clear, enforceable, and compliant with regulatory requirements. Selling without a written agreement. A. Ignoring regulatory requirements. C. Or relying solely on verbal agreements. D can lead to misunderstandings and disputes. Proper documentation protects both parties and ensures compliance. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 20. Standards for prompt, fair, and equitable settlements applicable to all insurers. Question 85. Which of the following best describes the importance of providing documentation and evidence during litigation in Iowa surplus lines insurance claims? A. It is optional and can be avoided if the insurer prefers. B. It is crucial for supporting the insurer's position and ensuring a fair trial. C. It should be minimal to protect the insurer's interests. D. It is solely the responsibility of the insured. Correct answer. B. It is crucial for supporting the insurer's position and ensuring a fair trial. Explanation. Providing documentation and evidence during litigation is crucial for supporting the insurer's position and ensuring a fair trial. Thorough documentation helps substantiate claims and defenses, making the case stronger and more credible. Avoiding documentation or providing minimal evidence C can weaken the insurer's case. Both parties, including the insurer, are responsible for providing relevant evidence. D. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus lines insurance. Question 86. In Iowa, what is a key ethical consideration for surplus lines claims professionals? A. Ignoring the insured's concerns to expedite the process. B. Ensuring fair treatment and transparency in all dealings. C. Prioritizing the insurer's interests above all else. D. Avoiding communication with the insured. Correct answer. B. Ensuring fair treatment and transparency in all dealings. Explanation. Ensuring fair treatment and transparency in all dealings is a key ethical consideration for surplus lines claims professionals. This approach builds trust and complies with regulatory requirements. Ignoring the insured's concerns. A. Prioritizing the insurer's interests. C. Or avoiding communication with the insured. D. Are unethical practices that can lead to disputes and regulatory penalties. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 20. Standards for prompt, fair, and equitable settlements applicable to all insurers. Question 87. Which of the following is a critical aspect of compliance with Iowa state regulations in surplus lines claims handling? A. Adhering strictly to federal laws and ignoring state regulations. B. Reporting claims data to the state insurance department as required. C. Following only the insurer's internal guidelines. D. Avoiding compliance to reduce administrative burdens. Correct answer. B. Reporting claims data to the state insurance department as required. Explanation. Reporting claims data to the state insurance department as required is a critical aspect of compliance with Iowa state regulations. This ensures transparency and accountability in the claims handling process. Ignoring state regulations. A. Following only internal guidelines. C. Or avoiding compliance. D. Can result in regulatory penalties and undermine consumer trust. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus lines insurance. Question 88. Which of the following best describes a key characteristic of surplus lines insurance in Iowa? A. It provides standardized coverage similar to admitted insurers. B. It is regulated by federal authorities and not subject to state laws. C. It offers customized coverage for unique or high-risk exposures. D. It guarantees low premiums compared to admitted insurers. Correct answer. C. It offers customized coverage for unique or high-risk exposures. Explanation. Surplus lines insurance offers customized coverage for unique or high-risk exposures that admitted insurers may not cover. This flexibility allows for specialized policies tailored to specific needs. Surplus lines insurance is regulated by state authorities, not just federal authorities. B. And does not guarantee low premiums. D. As the cost depends on the risk. Reference Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus lines insurance. Question 89. Which of the following is a critical step in the surplus lines insurance claims handling process in Iowa? A. Relying solely on the insurer's initial assessment. B. Ensuring thorough documentation and communication throughout the process. C. Ignoring the insured's input to avoid delays. D. Settling claims based on minimal investigation. Correct answer: B. Ensuring thorough documentation and communication throughout the process. Explanation: ensuring thorough documentation and communication throughout the claims handling process is critical for transparency, compliance, and effective resolution of claims. Relying solely on the insurer's initial assessment, or ignoring the insured's input, C, can lead to incomplete evaluations and disputes. Selling claims based on minimal investigation, D, undermines the integrity of the claims process. Reference: Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 20. Standards for prompt, fair, and equitable settlements applicable to all insurers. Question 90. Which of the following is essential for interpreting policy language and exclusions in surplus lines insurance policies in Iowa? A. Reviewing the entire policy, including endorsements and exclusions. B. Focusing only on the declarations page. C. Ignoring any policy definitions. D. Assuming coverage based on the insured's interpretation. Correct answer: A. Reviewing the entire policy, including endorsements and exclusions. Explanation: interpreting policy language and exclusions requires reviewing the entire policy, including endorsements and exclusions, to fully understand the coverage and limitations. Focusing only on the declarations page. B, or ignoring policy definitions. C, can lead to misunderstandings. Assuming coverage based on the insured's interpretation. D, is not reliable or legally sound. Reference: Iowa Insurance Division, Chapter 515. Surplus lines insurance.